Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Yay, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to the OG Network. And just so y'all know, that
Welcome.
bottom hair and skincare product, if you put in the OG Network 26, you get a 15% discount on your purchase of $35 or more. Just so y'all know. And with
Yeah,
that, we're going to get on with the
yeah.
show. We got my brother, Ant like the bull, and we got
Y'all
Swooperman
know me and like the
swooping into the show.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Letting us know straight out
Man,
of
turn it on
Philadelphia.
that.
You know what I'm saying? That we're gonna get his story on our show, on the show, Philly Talk. You know what I mean? And y'all know, for those that have been following the channel and following what we've been doing and trying to build this channel and trying to build. What's up, my brother out the pit? How you doing? Welcome in,
Out
welcome
the
in,
pit,
welcome
what's
in.
up?
Knowing we're trying to build this channel, trying to bring a diversity of things that we do on this thing. And y'all know that when me and Ant talked about doing Philly Talk, we talked about trying to showcase some of the average people that come out of Philadelphia. You know, we ain't talking about the Will Smith and the Kevin Harts. They ain't important. The people is important is the everyday people that come up and you don't hear about them, you don't know their story, and then they get a chance to tell their story right here on the Philly Network. Why? Because they straight out of Philadelphia. And this one's a little
Yeah.
bit special because this is another family member. You know
You
what
know what
I
I
mean?
mean?
That we got to watch grow
We
up.
said at the same time. That's
I
that
mean,
Philly word, you know what I mean? We just hit that on the same button.
and understand that, so we're going, I'm gonna pass it over to Ant for a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the Superman story. But Ant, it's on you right now.
What's going on, y'all? It's Ant like the bug. Please love and subscribe to each one of us out the pit, top to bottom. Ron's opinion don't matter. Fatacula, a soft sackcloth queen, and now we have my brother Swooperman.
I ain't got no S,
And
but I got
hopefully,
one no matter shirt.
right. Well, hopefully we don't get hit for no copyrights on that hum. So you know what I'm saying. So introduce him. We got Superman, aka Aaron, my little bro. I used to feed him the beans for the Fracker show. They know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
Good.
there you go.
So you cut out for a sec. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said, well, again, we have All Work Services owner CEO. We have Mr. Aaron Fraser.
How y'all
You
doing?
begin.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
Yes,
So
yes. Proud of you. Proud of you. Go ahead.
So, Aaron, I know we kind of briefly talked about this and whatever the case may be, and of course, being family members, we kind of know your story, but there's always a whole lot of in between stuff that we don't know about. I mean, and we want to give you a chance right here on the Philly Network to to tell your story, and we might jump in here and there, but we want to know, from the EA days ongoing.
Here you have it. Y'all don't know.
EA days. Woo. Man.
Yes, sir.
Well, it started early, yeah. Camac Street, representing area, Broadnery. Thank you for having me once again. Um, I
Hey, let me
guess
say something about Camac Street. Camac Street was one of the only streets you could spell it backwards and forwards, and it's still the same thing. But go ahead.
yes. So growing up in Philly, you don't it's home, it's love, it's I didn't know anything different. I thought that was all it was.
Wow.
It is all it is at the end of the day. It's all that I became because of what I got from it. It wasn't an easy road. I didn't grow up in, with a silver spoon. Oh, none of us did.
Yeah.
But I feel like my biggest journey started when I left Philly. Um, and it's funny how, leaving is what brings you back sometimes, because I left because my parents, I got in trouble for stealing cars. Day after and y'all told me I knew better. Day after my 18th birthday, I spent that night in jail.
Okay.
I thought it was a good idea to steal cars. I thought it was to me, it was having fun.
Right.
I look back now, it's like, man, if somebody stole my new car, boys, shit. You know what I mean? and funny and sad thing is how funny it turns around. I was out there stealing Toyotas, and if anybody was out there at that time in '96, they know about them Toyotas. Here I got
the
my
93,
own.
96, yeah.
Man, bro,
And now he's sitting in it making sure about stealing now.
I'm sitting in the Toyota. I ain't getting out of it. No, I'm just gonna sit here all night.
Like,
I'm at a restaurant. I'm at the restaurant, and I'm sitting in my car. I got my food right here. You think I'm playing? Here it goes.
Yeah,
I left the restaurant so I could get this in. That's some Philly shit for you right there. I still got it in me. No, but I ain't steal the plate. I'm gonna take it back in. I am gonna take it back in. Plus, I ain't leaving no dirt in here. I'm not trying to do no dishes and all that shit too. So yeah. Oh, but yeah, man. We left Philly because I was getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Moved to Delaware, and I couldn't stand it, man. You couldn't. I couldn't stay there long enough. I would spend the weekends at family house on Kamak Street while my brother still lived there. As much time as I could being away from Delaware until my clock ran out and I wasn't able to get home as often. I started going to school, and the summer was over, so real life started, and I ended up having no choice but to spend more time here and learning my way around. From Delaware, I met my wife, and I decided it was a good idea for me to leave here because I still wasn't doing much. I didn't go to college. I got the School of Hard Knocks. I did everything, training on jobs. Most of my teaching was from experienced other contractors. Some of my uncles were contractors, and just absorbing a lot,
Right.
So I decided to leave Delaware and went to South Dakota at 21. Not for the military, just for an opportunity to get away from everything that I knew, because it was different.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my first experiences, trying to get away. And a lot of people told me that first off, when I moved to Delaware, a lot of people had resentment for it. Some people gave me love. A lot of my friends ended up coming out here, spending a lot of time hanging out in Delaware just to get away from the city.
Right.
Because as much as I hated it here, it was a safe haven.
Okay.
And it became that when I started bringing my friends from Philly here to make it more comfortable for myself and for them. You realize that, something you hate ain't always got to be that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they learn to enjoy it too.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So when you went to South Dakota, how was that like when you first got there? Like, because I know it had to be some shell shock somewhere.
Man, it was a lot of shell shock. First off, growing up in Philly, you grow up with this tough skin, this attitude that don't talk to me. I don't know you. You don't look at people the same. You got this just, I'm from Philly, and don't nobody know me like that. And they gonna learn, because you always trying to represent, where you from. And when you go to a small rural white town, that ain't a good attitude to have, you know. So I really think that, you know, the spending the time, the 3 years in Delaware really did like groom me to be in a small rural community that. You know, because it took me a while to even get used to Delaware, but you know, my situation for moving to South Dakota was a little, it had some dire reasons, you know, but at the same time my wife was pregnant and it was a moment to make serious decisions as a grown-up, you know.
Right. Okay. I mean, you know, we all got to do those type of decisions, and sometimes they hard, sometimes it ain't easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you got out there, what, you know, when you got to South Dakota, like, what was your move? Like, what? I know you had to go into some type of survival mode because you got to do that wherever you go.
So I got there Halloween day. Actually, I got there Mischief Eve, you know, and it was crazy. It was cold, and I drove across the, you know, the Midwest, in a '64 Impala. You know, I got halfway there, and I remember a dude saying, "That ain't no brother's car," and I'm looking like the shit if it ain't. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna learn today, bro.
I got
Uh-huh.
You said, what you say? You don't know what kind of speaker I got in my trunk?
Shit, you gonna hear me coming. You gonna see me leaving. You know, but I'm from Philly, and I got a '64 Impala. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is me. You gonna learn today. I'm from Philly. Get used to it. This is who I am. You know what I mean? But yeah, driving across the Midwest, it kind of like, it was crazy. Like a different experience. I was glad I did it. I hated it at first, once again, but I have been through that already before. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? If you don't like it, you can leave. It's not jail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not stuck here. I'm gonna have to, you know, fight it through. It's gonna be different. It ain't gonna be comfortable. It ain't gonna be easy, but it's doable. It's doable.
Philly wasn't easy. Really wasn't easy, and it made you resilient, really, to deal with a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It made you tough. It gave you a tough exterior. But the good thing is, like I tell people, you know, we lived in a hood, but it was like the whole blocks was a community, so you just felt safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it didn't bother you to go meet more people or other people, because you was used to people, but like you said, but you was used to knowing who you knew. But it also made you we made you get looked at differently when you got, because you had a pride. Like, man, I'm from Philly. Can't nobody do nothing to me.
Yo, I'm not scared. I'm from Philly. You can't man. When I get to South Dakota, man, them woods ain't got nothing on me. You know, like, listen, Denzel had to take a little lit from out of my page. You know, that's how I felt. It's like, yo, South Dakota ain't got shit on me. You know,
Right.
But yeah, it was humbling. You know. It was cold. It was definitely cold. It was different. It took a lot of transitioning, because it wasn't the same. You know, what nobody could tell me what I was gonna experience in South Dakota. You know, first couple questions was, any black people there? Not really. You know, and so
it was
not many.
true when you got there.
Yo, I was excited to see the first black person. You know, I got there. I'm like, what? He looked at me. He was like, yeah, man, we got to be friends. You know, it's just us.
We always
you know.
Hey, you, let me get your number and your address. You're like, we're just in the store, okay.
First one didn't. The first one didn't speak English. He was from Sudan. I was like, damn. You know? It's like, I thought I had bad. What you doing here? You ain't cold? Shit.
Yo, that's what's up, man.
Matter of fact, I sent you your first coat down there.
Yeah, man.
And I remember
go ahead and yes, something.
Yeah, I remember when he after a few years he came back home, And I think it's around the same time that he came. But I remember when he had Andre, his first son, and he came back, and I think Andre might have been about 5. So, you know, it's a lot of rural areas in South Dakota. Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, I've been there. It's the cleanest place I ever seen in my damn life. Like, you would not listen, I don't care how trashy you were, you would have not even thrown it on the ground. You looked around like, well, where's the trash can? I'm gonna wait till I get home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you might have even got locked up for littering, but it was just that clean. It was like no grit, no sand. But I remember him coming there. And again, he wasn't. His son was born in South Dakota, so when he came to Philadelphia, it's a row home, a block, and kids that were outside. Like, you know, you can.
That's shell shock. Yeah, I think Ant froze up a little bit. Like out in Ohio and Pennsylvania, man, we got some wind coming through here like crazy, bro, and it's messing with signals.
It definitely
with signals. So for those that are on the live, hit number 1, hit the like button, subscribe button. I understand that we're gonna have some issues because of the weather situation that's going on, and it's vicious.
We getting a blowjob.
My truck was just like
my brother got away with words, y'all.
I remember him getting out of the car, and you know, it was just kids like running all over the place. And I remember your wife, because she was from Delaware, she didn't really know nothing about Philly like that, you know, and it's the hood. So they get out the car, and I remember y'all opening the door. His son said, "Oh, wow!" Jumped out of the car and just started running with kids. Like, he didn't care who was he related to, who he didn't know. He was like, I've never seen a block full of kids just all over the place. It's not recess. It's just kids all up and down the street, running in the street, out the street, off the curb. He just joined in. And his wife was like, she's like, Uncle Dre, what? And Aaron said, everybody say, he's cool. And she's never seen nothing like that. But she got comfortable because now she's watching her son.
Yeah, he froze again. Yeah, I already knew. I said, man, it's going to be one of them days that this weather is like.
Jump right in. And that's what Philly was about. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, come on. You know, oh, you family. Okay, yeah. You Aaron and Anthony. Okay, yeah. You know what I mean? And he just enjoyed himself. And I think that was that the same year that you went paintball with us?
I believe that probably would have been the same year. Yes, because I was on vacation and I took it back with me.
Yeah. And when you took it back with you, what did you do?
I started my own paintball business.
Black man too, y'all.
Man,
probably one of the only guns you can actually just carry at that time.
Yeah.
But
no, I was in South Dakota. You can carry a gun in your back window.
everybody does it.
Yeah. So you were in the business out there for that. How did you like that? Being a black man and being there and doing what you did.
You know, I really didn't experience a lot of hard, direct racism. You know what I mean? I honestly, man, like, I would probably say, you know, South Dakota has its own racial issues with Native Americans. You know, so, you know, at any given time, they would look at them, they would look at them as we get looked at in some areas, you know. So they had not a lot of experience. They didn't have a lot of experience with black people, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was new to me, and it was a new experience for both of them, for both of us. You know what I mean? So
this racism is not about me.
Yeah. They're not talking about me. You know, they had, you know, they had other people to point at the time. You know, and so I remember
what did they call Indians? Just saying.
You gonna make me say it, right?
Have a derogatory name? I just want to know, did they have a derogatory name?
Well, listen, rich nigga, poor nigga, still nigga. They call them prairie niggas. Still.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like you say what? But the second word, say it again. Say it again. You know, nah. But yeah, you know, so my first time experience. The worst I actually got was a dude called me colored, and he was like 90 years old, and I was like, damn. I was mad at first, and I had been talking to the guy for a while, so
Right.
he didn't mean nothing by it, but he didn't know how to. And so I'm like, the fuck is you calling colored, man? Like, I ain't colored. So I said to him, I said, when I'm sick, I'm brown. In the summertime, I'm brown. In the wintertime, I'm brown. When I'm cold, I'm brown. I said, when you white, when in the wintertime, you white. In the summertime, you tan. When you're cold, you're red. You know what I mean? When you're burnt, you know what I mean? Like, you go through more
You're
color. You
right,
got
man.
nerve to be
Right.
calling me colored?
Right.
Yo, he bust
I
out
didn't see
laughing. I said, you way more colored than I am. So he bust out laughing, and I was like, I don't call myself colored. I'm black. So
you.
we all laughed about it for a little bit, and he kind of understood. He didn't realize he was being disrespectful when he said it, and I had to realize that he wasn't being disrespectful when he said it. He didn't know no better. 90 years old. That's what we were
Yeah,
called, was colored. You
that's
know.
what they were called.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I mean, listen, he could have called me a nigger, and he probably and I'd have been mad. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, but
Right.
like you kind of had to, like, I had to feel like I had to educate him, because just like I didn't know, he didn't know,
Right.
and
Mhm.
and because some of those people, that was the first like real experience of black people they had, seriously, and it's kind of like it starts to
Mhm.
make you realize how small the world is.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
you really ain't never like sat next to a black person before?
Right.
Niggas,
Yeah.
this the shit. You missing out. Shit. Shit. You know? But
he, he he said, "Wow, I won't go back."
right. You can't go back now. But at 90 years old, to sit, and not that was his first black person to be around, but
Mhm.
that was that was my way of correcting him, but not trying to be disrespectful and not getting angry. You
Right.
know, that was probably
Yeah.
4 years after I moved there. So had I been straight out of Philly, like, my attitude, people stare at you in South Dakota, and they don't mean to. They just
Mhm.
That's what they
they
do.
so they look at you, eye to eye contact is what it is.
Right.
But when you live in Philly, you don't look at nobody without checking to make sure your wallet's
That-
still there.
That's
You know what I mean?
that's
Right.
fighting words in Philly. That's fighting look in Philly.
Yeah, yo.
Now, what you looking at?
So
Yeah, I
so
can
if I
tell my
catch
wife
you,
that. Go ahead.
so it was hard. I'm in the
Yeah.
mall in South Dakota,
Mhm.
and people giving you eye contact. So already I'm feeling like, kind of like, are you looking at me because I'm black? No, they looking at you because they got eye contact with you, and yeah, they might have been a little bit mesmerized. I was a good looking motherfucker, who knows? But nah, but they walking up on you, and it's like, what the fuck is you looking at? So I'm gritting on them, and by the time they walk past you, they speak to you, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm offended. I'm wondering why they talking to me. I don't know you. What you want,
Mhm.
motherfucker? Who is you?
Mhm.
And the whole time it's like, that's a Philly trait, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
Mhm.
this, take your guard down for a minute. So it took me 3-4 years to let that go. Took me
Wow.
3 or 4 years
Yeah.
to let that go. But
Yeah.
I started
Mhm.
to realize, it's like, you know what? You your own worst enemy, man. You got all this anger built up for nothing.
Right.
These all they wanted to say was hi. You checking for your wallet, you know. Um,
Mhm.
and so at that moment, it was another learning experience for me. I'm like, I'm taking everything for granted. I'm expecting all these people to they looking at me because they hate me, or they racist, or they this or they that.
Mhm.
I never really experienced a whole lot of that in South Dakota, so
Yeah.
everything
They saw
everything
that
that
Philly
people,
style.
and I've been to a lot of states, and now that, I got a couple places stamped um my
The business.
passport. I've been a couple places in a lot of
Mhm.
states, and it's never nothing that somebody told me to expect. I can't expect what somebody told me to. It wasn't ever as bad as it was supposed to be. Had I listened to what
Mhm.
somebody said, I would have never left Philly. I would have never started to experience Delaware. I would have never tried to take a chance at moving to South Dakota or starting a business, because
Mhm.
I mean, you know, everything I've done, somebody told me you couldn't do it, and I think that's half the reason that I did it.
Yeah, I can go with
Because
that.
Mm-hmm.
you know that's that Philly
Mm-hmm.
mentality. You can't tell me I can't do nothing. You know,
Right.
I fought a dude my brother's size. I fought Big Kenny. I could do anything. I didn't win, you know, but I tried, you
Right.
know, and you know, I survived it. You know, you realize that everything is survival, not everything, but a lot of things that people tell you can't do and that you can't survive and that it's impossible. It ain't rocket science. Ain't none of this shit rocket science,
Right.
you know. And if I can make it in Philly, I really did feel like I could make it anywhere. Now I was naive, you know. You like I jumped out the nest without no wings, you know. But I didn't know no better, and I mean I was better for it. But yeah,
But then again, you was tough
because
from Philly
because
though. That's why you jumped out the wing.
stupid. I was too stupid and too confident to know better. That's a confidence that I got, but I needed it, you know. And then you
Right,
get
right.
humbled as you get older. It's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? You a dumbass. You out here trying to start businesses in South Dakota. You don't know nobody out here, but it was too late. You did it. You committed. You gotta figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, well, but you figured it out because you already did. You already left. You've already had a child. You've already experienced some things. You drove across the country. Everybody told me you was stupid. That car ain't gonna make it. This ain't gonna happen. It all happened. It all did it.
Right.
Yeah, they told you that you couldn't.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
That right there speaks volume, because I can't count, and I'm quite sure anybody that ever tried to do something in their life and they maybe mention it to one or two people that did not have in their head that different. First thing they do is try to talk you out of something. Oh man, that's a bad idea. You can't do this. You can't do that. I always, when people start talking to me and stuff, I made it conscious say, go do it.
Or you know what I mean?
Just go do it. Who cares if you fail? Go do it.
You know,
don't worry about that. Do it.
yeah, I heard a quote today, and I try to, like, if I hear something good and I like it, I write it down so I remember it.
Okay.
But the guy started talking about stinking thinking.
Okay.
Okay? It's an energy that you have. If you think you can, you right. If you think you can't, you right.
That makes sense.
And and honestly, like, I never thought I couldn't, so I always did. And by the time I realized I might have had to figure some other things out because I didn't have it all figured out, I was already stepping in. You had already did enough. You know,
Right.
like, you know, y'all told me the other day, you know, don't wait till you have it all together. You know, don't overthink it. Some things you just gotta do it. You know, and that's y'all telling me, somebody who already jumped out there a few times and took some chances.
Right.
And I'm holding off on something as simple as posting some videos on YouTube and getting it started. It's like you got it, but you just haven't pushed the button and did it.
Right.
You know, what's holding you up? Why are you waiting?
Right.
Why one more day? You know, later, I always say, you know, later starts with LA, which means this, you know, the same lazy, last. You know, a lot of not situations that I want to be in start with LA.
You're right,
You
right.
know,
Wow. That's
late,
deep, little bro.
late. You know what I mean? So, like, all those things. It's like, you start that stinking thinking is what I'm saying. Like, don't be negative. And I feel like I got a lot of stinking thinking in Philly. Like, it is a stinking thinking city in some ways. As much as I love Philly, you know, growing up, being smart was stupid. You know, people didn't want to see you overachieve. You wasn't good you was only good when you was bad. You had to be tough. You couldn't be tough and smart. You know what I mean? And you had to be, it was just a negative energy to be good and great and positive. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't cheer people on. You had to compete against them. You know, everything was a battle. Instead of, you know, thinking of it as we both achieving, you know, just like envy and greed and hate, and not necessarily hate, but competitiveness is not the same as
Mhm.
Jealousy.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
I can compete against somebody and still make sure they finish the game. You know,
Mhm.
and so I like that's one thing in Philly I learned. It's like, you know what I mean, growing up, I should have wanted to achieve more, but I was scared to accomplish,
Mhm.
because everybody telling you
Mhm.
can't. And if you hear too many
Mhm.
people tell you can't, you might not. You might won't.
Mhm. But at the same time, the manyest people that told you that you can't was really your push to do. You know what I'm saying? It was
Oh
really
yeah.
your push to do. Because he was like, "You're not gonna stop me. You're not gonna tell me that." Like that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna stop me. Once they get that, like that push from like, "No, you ain't gonna do this. You're not gonna tell me what I can't do." What? What? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Philly. I did it in Philly. I could do it here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's just the way you
Yeah.
felt. You
It's
know?
funny. Yep, it's I like what Aaron said because it's funny. I was on my live early. I usually don't do them like that, but I was in my truck doing my live, and I said something very similar to what you were saying about. I wasn't really referring to Philadelphia, but I remember I said I was talking about people who bully, and I said, how many times I've been called a cornball? Oh, you corny, you corny, you
Oh, yeah,
corny.
saying that.
And I'm like, I said, but if you think about it, I said, yeah, I said, I'd rather be corny than cool. I said, because corny is the reason why I got money invested in the stock market. Corny is the reason why I'm doing this. I said, corny kept me out of jail. Corny kept me out of prison. Corny. I said, so if corny is getting me these results, then I'd
Mhm.
rather be corny than cool. Even though I
Yes.
know I
Yeah.
got some coolness to me. But my point is, a lot like what you said, everybody, a lot of people trying to tell you that's not cool. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be a certain way
Mhm.
because that's what's cool. And if you smart, then you're not, you know what I mean? Like how you said, you smart, but you got to be dumb because the
Yeah.
Right.
being dumb was cool. And it's like, yo, you don't understand the way that you overcame all of those mental fights, because most of that is just mental stuff
Yeah.
that people put in your
Mhm.
head that you fighting against between what they said and what you can do for yourself if you just put in the work.
Mhm.
And that's
And
that.
we came from a city of sticks and stones that break your bones, names that never hurt you.
Right.
So you ain't go like if somebody said I was corny, it's like, all right, well, corny. First of all, the good thing about corny, you never heard of a corny gang. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, nobody want to hang with you if you're corny. You like good, so you can get to be productive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
rob somebody that's corny. Nobody
Right.
rob somebody corny. They be like, look at that, what that boy got on. Now, if you all fly, you that fly boy, they like, yeah, we gonna set boy up. You wear the sneakers, I wear the jeans, you wear the coat. We gonna rob this dude.
Right.
We gonna rob this dude that's so fly. You know what I'm saying? But the corny boy gonna go home with everything he came out with because they be like, man, I don't wear his stuff and be, you know what I mean? He corny, man. Go ahead.
My thing is
He
this.
like, okay.
So I mean,
But
that to me, I think people don't realize. I think if you grow up under those type of conditions, you don't understand how that works with a person. If you grew up in an area where it's all nice and clean and pleasant, and you're not dealing with that, they don't realize. A lot of times, people don't realize when you grow up in those type of communities and neighborhoods, even though there's a whole lot of good, they don't realize that all of those things put into your head when you get outside that circle. Now you're struggling with that, trying to overcome what people said as opposed to your experience. Like, wait a minute, it's not adding up. Something's not adding up here.
Yes.
Y'all saying this, but I'm still not getting what y'all saying. I'm laughing. I'm thinking about the story you said about the how people was looking at you.
Yeah.
And there was one moment where me and my son, who haven't been in Philly, we went to a restaurant, but it was like not far out of Delaware. But it was a seafood joint. We all sitting down there, and my son, being from Philadelphia, because when you walk into a place, everybody's staring at us.
Yes.
I'm okay with it. I'm not, you know what I mean? We like, whatever. I mean, like, my son got this look on his face like he ready to fight everybody in there. Like, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why you all puffed up like that? He like, man, what the hell they staring at me for? Like, I'm like, bro, they don't know who you are. Like,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I
They
think it is, though?
typically they recognize, and they always turn around. They normally probably wave to everybody who walk in here, but they don't recognize you. You took them a moment.
Yeah. But you know what, though? I think it's also a Philly swag to you. Because people almost single you out, like, where you from? And they were like, as soon as you say Philly, I knew you was from Philly. You like, You know I'm from Philly. I ain't say I
Yeah,
might have said
yeah.
something, but they see it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just see it automatic. So that's what it is. It's a different type of. I'd have been in New York. I've been to Florida.
Well,
I've been to
sometimes
South Dakota. I'd have been.
as soon as our vocabulary breaks off a certain couple of words,
Yeah.
it it,
Mhm.
it will
And
it will
clothes.
define where you from. Because I mean, look,
Yeah,
some
and
people,
clothes.
it cracked me
Yeah.
up to some people can't say the bull or the jaw.
Yeah.
If you ain't from Philly, the word don't come out right. It's like your
Yeah.
lips ain't built for it. You know, it's like I don't speak
Right,
Spanish,
right.
so it's some of the my R's don't roll off that well. But it's like, yo, if
Yeah.
you ain't from Philly, don't try to say the joint and the bull like that.
Mhm.
Cause it ain't gonna
You
come
know what I'm
out
saying?
right. You
They
know,
like
you
a
gonna use it in
bull, like
vocabulary
cow.
wrong. You gonna fuck it up.
Right.
So
They
stop.
like, what's the bull?
Yeah, yo, my
What's the
boss, I
bull?
said it to my boss one time when I was in South Dakota. And then I had to help him sound it out with his lips. So I was cracking up. He was like, and I'm like,
The
I,
bowl? The
I'm like,
bowl.
I couldn't even tell him. I couldn't even spell it for him so that he could understand what I was trying to say. So I'm like, just never mind, yo. No, no. You know, it's a Philly thing. It's a Philly thing. I hope you get it, but I'm not getting ready to explain it to you no more. You know,
He's,
I'm not
he's
Lucy. I'm
still
not
trying to
explaining
get the
shit.
boy.
You know,
I get it.
Yeah,
You mean the boy? The boy?
But yo, that's definitely another one. You know, be like the bull. I forgot about that. But because we use it so often. But sometimes I really didn't have to say anything. Like when I came to Ohio, people just knew, and this was way like, you know, around we went to a small town, but it was like they knew. I mean, even though they ordered their stuff from out there, they didn't have the concert. They knew when you stepped off almost out that car, it was like they started looking at your sneakers, your clothes, and they like, where you from? You ain't from here,
yo,
is you?
but we
You know
had
what
a
I mean?
different fashion style. You know, it's like, yo, when you
Yeah,
get there,
yeah.
you look at their shoes and you be like, what, you got a hole in your shoe? Bro,
Yeah.
we,
Like,
we,
them Jones is dick.
yo, I don't even cut grass in them shoes. Like,
Yeah.
those
I ain't
ain't
gonna
even
pull
my,
you back.
and we ain't had grass in the city. Those ain't even my alley shoes, yo. Like, I can't even go play in the dirt yard with them shoes. Nah.
Yeah. It's a different world.
Yeah. It is. It really is, man. Certain things that won't be like what this ratchet to them ain't ratchet to us because we like I don't care how ratchet is. Our chicks ain't going downtown looking like nothing. You know what I'm saying? I used to go places and you'd be like, how did you even got on the bus with their pajamas on and chilling like and their hair half done and half dead? And I'm like, yo, in Philly, I don't care the worst Jones on the block that ain't had nothing ain't gonna go nowhere looking like nothing.
Man, and
You know
as
what
a
I'm saying?
man
They
in
not gonna.
Philly, they wasn't gonna let you go somewhere because you was gonna get roasted. So you better not be in no bad
Yeah,
looking
right,
clothes,
right.
you know, because even the corny bulls look good in Philly. You know,
Right.
like, let's keep it real. You couldn't
They
be
better.
that corny. You
Right.
know,
Right. You go somewhere and be you go somewhere else and be the
you
shit.
better not go to school with no Woolworth sneakers on.
I ain't
You know, if you
lying.
got
Yeah.
the sneakers from Woolworth, nah, bro, nope.
Look, but you go somewhere else with no Woolworth sneakers and you be still be the shit because they still gonna color coordinate, put it
Yeah,
together
yeah,
that
you
you
still
still gonna
gonna
like, yo, he fly. He fly. You
No,
got them in shot, right?
so your journey,
uh,
of course, you back and you out of South Dakota, you back into Delaware. What's going on now?
So
Bring us up to date.
up to date. So South Dakota, you know, fast track. I stayed there for 13 years. It grew me up. I was 21 when I got there, but I didn't grow up until I got to South Dakota and actually like settled down, calmed down. You know, another thing about living in the city, you move so fast, you really don't take a moment to slow down for nothing. You
Wow.
know, I would talk to people and their conversation was going so slow that I would have to finish what they were saying for them. It's like, yo, can we keep it? Like I had someplace to go, I was going nowhere fast. It's like, can we get this moving? Like, yo, when you from Philly, it's like, yo, I know what you're gonna say. How about I say what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna say what I can say, and your slow ass, let me say what you're gonna say again, and we can get this conversation over with. I'm in a rush for nothing. And I was like, yo, you need to slow down, like, smell the air. take a minute to like life. You know what I mean? It's like I traffic, like, yo, I'm swerving in and out of lanes. You know, you like, bro, I'm gonna get myself locked up out here, act a fool. You know, so I had to learn to slow down and grow up. So when I realized that I was moving too fast, and I had to grow up, I finally got comfortable being in South Dakota, which meant I was ready to leave.
Wow.
I started and created 2 businesses there. The economy had different ideas for me. Like I said, I thought I knew it all. Owned a house, had 2 cars, you know, great business all at the same time. 27 years old, you couldn't tell me shit, you know. And I thought I knew it all. I thought I had it all. But, you know, like, all of those was material things, and I lost them all, and I hurt over them all. And at the end of the day, it was like, if I did it before, I can do it again. I didn't have shit. I didn't go to South Dakota with money. I didn't go to South Dakota with nothing. I was actually I had a felony. I could not get but certain jobs. You know, at the end of the road, the reason that I started my own business is because I was tired of working for people who I felt like I had more to give, and I could see it, you know, and they could see it. But I wanted to take a chance and do it for myself, you know. And later I realized I've been an entrepreneur since I went to cook. You know what I mean? You know, selling penny candy, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, my friends and family told me, it's like, yo, you always been this hustling dude. You've been doing this for a while. You've been selling stuff since you was in middle school. You know, you just changed what your product was. You know, you learn and you realize that it's like, damn, you know, this is a little part of me always been there. Philly put all these things in me before when I started, you know. Now I have learned and used these tools to evolve in a place all over the world. You know what I mean? And not all over the world, but all over the United States. I've been there, and and Philly is who made me. Philly is who raised me, and I just took that and made the best of it. You know what I mean? Just morphed it. Learned from the mistakes I made and realized it's like, you know what? I won't ever be a banker. I probably shouldn't carry guns, and like, you know, I can't. I can't own a gun still to this day. You know what I mean? But I had experiences and I did things in life. Those are my mistakes. You know what I mean? I had to live up to them. So those are things I'm not going to be able to do, you know, right now. You know, but you know, going to South Dakota, I learned to hunt. You know what I mean? I learned to you know, go out and walk fields and shit with people doing things, and like, it was an experience that, like, if I would have listened to what everybody said, I never would have tried that. I never would have done it, you know. And so I take all those things, and now that I'm back in Delaware, you know, my kids are all grown now. You know what I mean? The youngest is 19, but I'm still raising them. You know, like, I need a coach. Even now that I've started and done, this is my 3rd business. I always feel like, you know, there's a couple experiences that I still need. There's always something else. You know what I mean? Some things you need to know along the way. You know, and even though I got all these,
go ahead.
And so my business name is All Work Services, is because all the experiences that I've done, all the things that I've been through, I'm still doing them. You know, those have turned me into the person I am. So All Work Services is, I am All Work Services. All Work Services is me. It's all my experiences all bunched into one, and me doing things that I love. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah. That's funny you said that. Me and Ronnie talked about that too. Things you love, the work. Like, how would you put it, Ron, about the work and then loving it?
I said, people always say that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But then we were also talking about, I said, yeah, but I don't care how much you love it, you still going to get paid for it.
Right, you do. Right. And you know what? It's you got to put a lot of, you know, no matter what you do, whether it's a relationship or a business or your pet or your whatever it is you got, you know what I mean? Like, yo, it takes constant commitment. You know, me being in a business, I didn't know. I was like, man, all you got to do, all you got to do is this, you know. I want to have more time with my family. I want to spend this and that, and it's not all those things. It's
No,
none of that shit.
no,
You know,
none
it
of it.
ain't more time with your family at
No,
first. You know what I mean?
it
It's
is less.
arguments. It's
It is
it's
less.
paperwork. It's like all I wanted to do was put some windshields in when I first started my own business, and it's like it's not that easy. It's not rocket science. You gonna have to figure some other things out, but it's possible. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's more to everything but it's possible, and it takes constant dedication. 5 years. If you're not willing to commit to a business for 5 years, if you having a kid, you committed for life, guaranteed 18 years.
Right.
But it's the same thing. With your business is a faith that I didn't know I had late then, but now I can talk about the faith that it takes to run a business. Like, I got to know that I'm confident and I'm gonna not quit tomorrow because I don't have customers.
Right.
I'm gonna go find them, and I
Right.
might not have a customer every day,
Right.
but I'm gonna go look for them tomorrow and today so that they might be here on Friday. You know what I mean? Put that work in, because in 5 years, if I keep doing what I'm doing for 5 years, I might not have nothing. But if I didn't do anything for the whole 5 years, I guaranteed I'm not gonna have shit. You know what I mean? So I put that time in. I put this work in every day, and I'm praying that it works. I got that faith that it's going to work, that I'm going to get another customer. I keep that same thought, that hustle, that I never want to be hungry again, or I never want to make the same mistake twice and lose my business by getting too comfortable with something. I'm always trying to evolve and get another day in, another more experience. You know what I mean? Because I used to hear people say, I started my business back a long time ago, but people used to always say, you can't tell me nothing. I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, damn, for the last 29 years, they have technology has fucking advanced so much that you've been doing the shit wrong for the last 29 years, you dumb fuck. Stupid is as stupid does. That shit's true. You know what I mean? And you can learn a lot from a fucking dummy. You know what I mean? So sometimes if you just shut up for a minute and listen to somebody, there's so much experience out there. Because I thought I knew it all. And then I realized how much of a dummy I was being, because I was too cocky for a moment to learn and listen to what people was trying to tell me.
Yep.
Had I been less of cocky, I might not have had a family, because people was trying to tell me, stop stealing cars.
Right.
You couldn't tell me shit. And finally I grew up, and I started listening, because I slowed down. I was moving too fast, and my ears wasn't taking in all the shit that I was being told.
Right.
And now I realize that, growing up, I was allowing the stinking thinking to get in my head.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, we all do. That's the negativity of life in general. Everybody trying to pull you down. There's a couple people, maybe your dad is the only man, as they say, is trying to, make you better than him. You know what I mean? So I got 4 kids, and all of them I'm trying to make better than me. If they got friends who they needed some experiences, I'm trying to help them along. And now my kids, because of the tools that I gave them and the experiences that they got from me, they can help their friends out. I hear them telling their friends some of the slogans that I said to them, and I didn't think they were listening. It's funny. You like, oh shit, I'm becoming my parents, but my kids is becoming me. But I'm glad they're listening. So yeah.
Yeah, you want them to have a better party, like
Absolutely. I want them to learn early and take those tools on and realize that, what, build your friends up, man. Don't tell them they can't do this shit, or you ain't shit, or how negative starts. Don't do that shit. Yo, go help your friend out. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't gonna help them out, shut the fuck up.
Like, I know that when
you don't have to always give everybody praise. You ain't gotta be that dude, but you ain't gotta knock motherfuckers either.
now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think growing up in Philly, you got long blocks, and they were communities. So you had people that were teaching you stuff. You know what I mean? You had crackheads even taught us some stuff. You know what I mean? And like you said, you can always learn something from a dummy. Like, we didn't look at, we was at the bottom of the barrel of what people that we was around. Some people bottom barrel people, but some of them bottom barrel people had a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like you said, you're gonna learn something from a dummy or crackhead. Listen, I learned how to raise a dog from a crackhead.
Yeah.
Remember
The
that
guy with the
dude?
Rottweilers.
Yeah, he would
With
walk
the
around with
numbers.
Rottweilers off the leash, and they did anything he told them to do. Rottweilers and pit bulls, and he was walking around. He was a crackhead. He was training people's dogs, and he was the one that said, "Man, you talk to your dogs like the bear." He said, "Dogs understand." At that point, he said, "Dogs understand about 700 words, man." And I said,
Yeah.
"What?" I said, "You got people don't understand 700 words to define that." And he was like, "Yeah." And he broke that joint down to me, and you couldn't say nothing about the dog. He would walk them dogs almost every day, every night. And them dogs was well trained. I watched cats walk around them, and you sitting there going, "Wow," you know what I mean? Like, you know,
Looks like he probably froze again.
and they was able to share it. I know this joint is crazy. And you had to share it. You know, you also, you know, saying you live with almost. You felt like you had to compete with the Joneses in a little bit, and I think that's where our fallback to where you this, you that, because you had more people to try to compete with on the block of people, but they challenged you. That competition was challenged.
But
It wasn't. Yeah.
It's when people say it like the jungle, you know, you right, because like when you're fighting over scraps,
Mhm.
it's easy to look at you like you're you know, a monster or something, you know what I mean, or like you at the bottom, but
Mhm.
like we had, that's all we had, you know what I mean, we didn't,
Yeah.
all you had
That's
was
why
your
you put.
pride, all you had was what you had on, you know what I mean, like we had to wear our whole personality, you know what I mean, it mattered, like your materials was who you were,
Right,
you know.
right.
See, it's all experience. What all do you do from all work services when it comes to work?
So I have
Can you hear me?
evolved to do, yes, I do. I
Oh,
do.
okay.
So all work services is I call it the I don't know if I can use the lady's name with the list, but I
Got
call
you.
it the go-to list of Delaware. You know, I try to network with other small businesses who do commercial residential work to kind of provide a full service. Like me personally,
A
I
community of workers. Yeah.
a community of workers. You know, um,
Mm.
I do a lot of interior work from painting, drywall, flooring. I can remodel a whole bathroom, a whole kitchen. But I'm at the point where I can't do it by myself. I can't afford employees. You know, that's a situation that a lot of small businesses go through where, you know, you can find a couple of good employees, but the good employees, you can hardly afford them for the amount of time that you need them for, you know?
Right.
So I network with other businesses who are in the same situation I am. You know, for example, you know, this week I might have 4 or 5 days available to do something. So I offer that to somebody who might need somebody, and I'm not trying to, you know, like charge them a lot. I give them what they can afford. You know, I'm not going to do it for cheap. They're going to get a good job. So the value in it is the fact that I've been doing what I do for a long time. I can give them good quality labor services to help with their business, or and vice versa, you know. So the 4 or 5 guys in my group, we all own our own businesses, but we all take a day or two to help each other out, and we get paid for it. You know, sometimes it's on a large contract, a large scale something, and some of us are sometimes we're busy with residential work. You know, until we grow to the point where we have enough work that we're always busy 40 hours a week. This is how we start growing small to make a bigger community. You know, like we the Avengers of contracting and shit. You know, like we, you know, you need an Iron Man, you need a Superman, you need you know, Batman. So it ain't just the one you know, characters from one thing. You put these people
Well,
together
I'm thinking.
and you
I guess
got,
I'm the only one. Go ahead.
and you put these things together, you got a strong community of reliable contract that you can count on. Not just me, but my customers. You know, they don't have to call me for everything. You know, if one of the guys in my team and my crew, for example, one guy does clean outs. He's also he's a realtor, you know. So if you were to call me and I told you contact Trevor because Trevor handles typically the clean outs. Can I do a clean out? Yes, I have the equipment for it, but that's what he does. That's how he makes his money every single day.
Right.
If he called me to help him with a clean out, we're going to get together to get that clean out done. If his employee isn't available or if whatever it takes, because at the end of the day, I don't want to lose the customer. He don't want to lose the customer. Have a zero is zero.
The business.
We can both walk
Or
away
the
broke,
business of having it.
or
Exactly.
we can share what we got there and make it till the
Yep.
next day so that we can afford to be around for that next big job.
Mhm. So both won't be broke.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Mm.
In there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have, if I was to ask every small business 20 questions, 10 of us got the same fucking problems.
Mhm.
99 problems and a bitch ain't one. It's like we all got them. So if we can figure out how to solve even 4 of those problems, that's huge for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like if we sat down and we talked about things that we've been going through, and I can share some of my experiences with them so that they don't have to go through it the same way, or they can go through it with a little bit more insight than I did. This is what I did when I went through that. It may not help you, but it's some things that you need to know. But this is all I can offer to you is the things that I know about that. And maybe this can help you and maybe it can't, but you didn't lose anything by me telling it to you. And I didn't lose anything by giving it to you,
Right. You also do exterior work too.
I do exterior power washing. We wash everything from homes, churches, stadiums. We do bleachers. I've washed cemeteries and items in cemeteries all the way up to
Yo,
like I
that's
said,
death.
steeples and monuments.
You stay around, that's death.
I said, yo, that's death.
Yeah. I didn't get no complaints at the cemetery either, Nobody said nothing.
And trust me, you didn't want them to either.
I was hoping they did it, but they all kept quiet. They all did.
Imagine
Let's
that
get
somebody
this
goes,
job
yo,
done.
buddy, you missed the spot.
Yeah.
You ain't do much.
I wouldn't have got back there, and I would have left all my stuff there. Everything would stay right there.
You been out of business then. Look, you done came that area like, yo, I need some help.
Yeah. Remember, look, that whole Philly talk was out on right there. I'm done. Look, I'm from Philly. I'd have been out. You know what I mean? You see how the whole crew be running? You just start running because everybody running? I'm running, bro. You better follow me because I can't fight no ghosts. Shit.
That's what's up, man. Like, what I mean? Like, I always look at, I look at people that do business, and I mean, of course, we family, but I look at it like I've been in business, so I know the ups and downs of it. I know the hard things, I know the tough things, and I know the good moments. I know the bad moments, and one thing my thing is this is that failure is when you quit.
It is.
It is. Failure is just when you quit. And
I mean, every experience is like my stepping stones. I started on some unsolid dirt, and now I got enough bricks to start a foundation with. It depends. So you always gonna get bricks, and it depends on how you stack them up, or you gonna throw them. You can throw the bricks and break shit, and now you're not solving no problems. You're not learning nothing. But you can take every one of them and you can build yourself a little patio. You know what I mean? You can build yourself a building with it. But it all depends. Like sometimes everything you get is a tool and a part to how you put it together is your own journey. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all in the way you think. Is it a brick you want to throw or is that a brick you want to build with?
Right. And every time you lay one brick, man, that's one closer. That's one step closer.
Yeah.
And you also do black topping.
I do. So they say black don't crack, but it do. So when it does, I fill cracks in your driveway and stuff. So yeah, we do
your
black
name
top.
The name of your business
top,
and your telephone number.
Pothole repairs, black top, seal coating of driveways. We do painting, um, gutter cleaning.
So
Name
how
a
does
business.
everybody reach
Name
you?
a business
Uh,
number. Your number. Yeah, there you
we
go.
are all work services. So at the end of the day, if we can't do it, if I don't have somebody that I can rely on to give it to you and do it right, we're not even going to offer it. You know, we don't do that. You know, so if you were to call me and say, hey, do you know an HVAC guy? I could give you 2 or 3 HVAC guys, and all these 3 people are very reliable. They're going to give you their best estimates, and you take it from there, you know, and say, I don't do HVAC, you know, and I can't do HVAC,
You
but
got
these
telephone
are the
number and
people that I
website.
network. Say that again.
Can they contact you through either website or telephone number?
So they can contact me through my phone number at 302-345-2695,
Okay.
or they can check out my website at washyourhousede.com. That is wash, WASHYOURDE.com.
So, and I know you just
Yeah.
started, and I know you just started really kind of get started on your YouTube page. So for those that are on this
To
live,
know. What was that
you know,
about? Yeah, go ahead.
and then you'll get to see some of the little bit the work that I know he just started, so there's not a whole lot on there. But I
Yes.
guess as you start to post more, people start to see your start and finish work or whatever direction you're going with that. So yeah, Superman, he does have a YouTube page. If you want to go follow the YouTube page, which
It's
is some
called
point
it's called Things to Know, right? What was that about?
The
How did that
page is
concept
the
with
page
you?
is called Things You Need to Know. And so over the 26 years in business, over the 47 years in life experiences, you know, there's some things you need to know. And I just want to share those things with other people because uh, it ain't rocket science. We're not born with all this education. You know, I've had times where, you know, when in South Dakota, I did have situations where people don't want to teach you everything they know. You know, no matter who you are, what you are, they feel like they want to have one up on you. So I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to act that way. I want to
Yeah,
share what I
Philly didn't
know
do that.
and experience it because you're
Yeah,
not
Philly
born with
did
that.
try to teach you. Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
they don't want to show everything. And it's like, yo, you can't take it with you. When you die, it's not going to cost you no money to help
Mhm.
educate somebody else. You know, it's
Mhm.
not what you have, is what you can offer, because you can't take it from me. I can give it to you, but I'm willing to give it to you
Mhm.
because it's only knowledge. You know what I mean? And knowledge is something you should share with
Mhm.
everybody if you got it.
Mhm.
But some people are
Yeah.
selfish and they want to hold it hostage because they, like you said, number one, they're gonna feel
Man.
like they have something up on you.
So
Number
with
two,
all
some people don't want competition.
Yeah, with all the businesses that I've started, I can't wash every house. I can't wash everything in Delaware. I do want to, you know. And the
Right.
same with business, you know. Even with all work services, I know I can't provide every service. I can't take care of every person. But if I can provide you with somebody else who has the same attitude with me, that wants to take care of people and
Mhm.
give them honest,
Mhm.
honest service and a good, reasonable rate, because we all out here trying to make a living, you know. But you got some people out here trying to take advantage of people to make their living, and then you got some people, and you don't know who you can trust. You know, so you want to be able to at least
Mhm.
get a first-hand judgment of some people, and that's what I do. You know, I've been in business for
Mhm.
long enough that at least I've worked with these people once or twice or 15 times in order to get a reputation where I know that when I tell you can call them, they are going to do what they say they're going to do, because that's what I do. You know, and I stand by my
Mhm.
name, and I'm not going to offer anybody who doesn't stand by their name and do what they say they're going to do.
Right.
Mhm. Right. Right.
There you go. And that's how you learn. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
that's how
because
you
I would
learn.
hope that, you know, somebody would share, you know, any of these guys in my team share my information and name with the people they know. I would hope that my customers feel the same way about me when I do a service for them and they become a client and they say, hey, you know, All Work Services has done great service for me. Call Aaron. You know, he knows a lot of people in town. He tries to surround himself with positive people with the same attitude, you know, so he'll at least tell you he doesn't know anybody. You know, if you ask him about somebody who, and he does know that person and they're not recommended, I'll tell you, I recommend you not use them. You know, I try not to talk bad, but, you know, I'm not going to steer anybody the wrong way. You know,
Don't
honesty
talk bad,
is
talk
first.
true.
Talk truth.
Yep.
Honesty is the direction. You know, you like at the end of the day,
Mhm.
you know, say what you do and do what you say. That's it. You know.
There's a
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
between talking bad and talking true. I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just talking the truth.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But that's what's up,
Wow.
man. That's what's up, man. I mean, you know, what I mean, it's good to hear your story. It's good to let the world on what scale that we have to hear your story, man. And I'm glad you didn't, you know what I mean, and all of the obstacles and all of the stuff that you had to deal with throughout the years. The way you took it, man, you took everything as a learning experience as opposed to a negative.
Yeah. Well, I'm a
And
Frazier, and I'm from Philly. So, down goes Frazier, but get your ass back up. And that goes for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you can get knocked down, and you can get knocked
Yeah.
down a couple times, but get the fuck up. You
Yep.
know, when Mickey tell Rocky, get up.
get up.
Mickey loves you. Fucking get up.
Right.
You know, everybody get up. Don't sit there, don't lay there. Like, you can take another punch. Just get up.
Mhm.
And we all listen, if
Yeah.
you live long enough and you ever tried to do anything, you're gonna have those moments in life where you're gonna get knocked down.
Yep.
And those are the defining moments that's gonna decide what you're made of. You either gonna fold or you're gonna flourish.
Yeah. I did. You fall into those moments where you got 9 seconds. You got 9 seconds to get up. So it's not that, because I didn't get up right away, it's over. You know what I mean? Because I have lazy days. You know what I mean? I have lazy shit. I might have a lazy week sometimes. We procrastinate. We don't do everything we say we're gonna do. But I got 9 seconds. Don't waste that time doing the wrong things. You got a moment. Shake it off and get up. It doesn't have to. It don't happen overnight. It don't have to happen right this second. But take some time, get yourself together, and get up. Because a bad plan is better than no plan, and doing something is going to get you way more than doing nothing. Period.
Right.
If you let a day go by,
Simple
you like,
math.
man, you know what? I let a whole day go by and I ain't gonna get another brick. My foundation is the same.
Right.
Man, I do. I say to my kids and my son. One day he was laying in bed, and I'm like, bro, because that's what they call me, motherfuckers. I'm like, bro, how about this? You laying in bed and shit. I'm like, I'm trying to teach you something. I got all this experiences and stuff, and I want to show you some things. I said, but you want to lay around here. I'm trying to educate you. I said, the thing is, in life, when a teacher asks you or somebody asks you, what you know how to do, what experiences you got, you want to be able to raise your hand more times than not. Don't be no one-trick pony. You know what I mean? It's like, if all you know how to do is DoorDash, then chances are life is going to be real difficult for you if your car breaks down.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If all you know how to do is go beg mommy for money, it's not if, it's when.
Wait.
Your mom ain't here to give you money no more. You're going to have a rude awakening when mommy ain't here no more. So it's like, these are the things in life that we need to realize and start getting on. And that's why I got on my kids about it. I'm like, I want to be able to raise my hand 17 times. So when somebody asks what you know how to do, or, if you're capable, they're going to hire me. I'm going to be the one that has the most experiences, the most required availabilities to get that job. And I'm going to ask for the most money too, because I'm worth it.
Right.
But if all you know how to do is Uber and you ain't got no car, ain't nobody trying to ask you to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to
And all
Uber,
your
but
kids, is what. And all
my
your kids
is
are pretty much well grounded with
well-rounded.
working and
I got a
doesn't. Yeah.
nurse,
Yeah.
I got a barber, I have a full-time electrician, and then I have an apprentice who helps me, and he's learning what I do. He helps me,
You
but
learn.
he
You learn by
definitely
teaching.
he what?
You learn by teaching.
Yes, I learned by teaching. Now they teaching me, because
Yeah.
I know nothing about this whole internet and network thing. So they gonna be they gonna teach me some things, because I ain't been doing that for 30 years. It ain't been around. So I'm like, all right, let me get some experience from these kids, because they can do that part. They can do it better than I can, and I'm humble enough to accept that, and like, hopefully they learn some humbleness and realize that, there's a lot to learn out here. There's always something to learn.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, when I tell you,
And I appreciate
I
that
wish
things
my
are
kids
no
would have taught me some stuff
YouTube,
with this
honestly.
stuff. My kids let me hang your high and dry. You gonna learn on your own, daddy.
Hey, well, listen. If at least, hopefully, everybody can get some education from the things you need to know. It's going to be something on there.
Mhm.
Some things people
I
might
like
already
that.
know. Some things. And
Mhm.
as I get to showing and sharing some more of my information, like as I'm doing the jobs, is where I'm going to
Mhm.
be, getting information because as simple as some people don't know how to use a plunger. you know
Yeah.
and it's not rocket science, but it's kind of embarrassing if you don't know. You don't want to
Yeah.
ask somebody, how you use this thing.
Mhm. Right.
Some people buy a house and don't know where their water shut off is. Well, guess what? If your
Mhm.
toilet starts leaking, you in a bad situation if you don't know this. So as I start doing these
Mhm.
things and I start talking about it, hopefully I can strike a nerve with some people who realize that there are some things that they need to know, and hopefully I can share it
Mhm.
with them. They can learn it without having some catastrophic event go on
Right.
before they figure it out for
Yeah,
themselves.
right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And if
That's
they gotta call me, they got my phone number. They know I got some things they need to know. I can show it to them. Just give me a call. Their place will be on air.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think some of these crafts are lost in the process over the years. You know what I mean? So when y'all seeing
Some
you
and
like
even
taking that
some of these
tarnish off of
crafts are
that
problem solving. Some of these crafts
yep,
are honestly
yep.
the fact of how to do something. Like there's no education for every job that's out there, or every
Mhm.
situation that's out there. So
Right.
Mhm.
when people ask for, there's no such thing as a specialist for everything. You know,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
but if you have enough knowledge and you can get, and YouTube is where it's at. I learn a lot of stuff on YouTube, but then I'll look up certain things, and those topics don't go into enough detail for me to
Mhm.
get the knowledge that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna share what I've learned, trying to watch these videos, and hopefully I help somebody who I wasn't helped.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I was appreciating those videos. I appreciated it when finally when YouTube was there. It's like, I ain't got to go to a encyclopedia and learn this no more. I can watch a video, and there's people out there willing to share it. So I'm gonna share it too.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, and that's kind of why, like with YouTube, I do a lot of talking about investment and stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
with my YouTube, I mean, I do other stuff too, but the investment part is the part that I like the most. So I gravitate more to that part, and it's nothing more better than somebody coming back telling you, listen, investments is risky, like anything else in life is risky. But nothing more better than somebody come back saying, man, you know what? I appreciate that knowledge because it helped me.
Everything risky though.
Yeah, it helped me.
yeah.
Everything has a risk.
I mean, they said,
Everything has a risk.
the fact that they said instead, it took me out of procrastination. You know what I mean? It took them out of procrastination. It doesn't mean they made a bunch of money, they got rich, or nothing like that, because there's nothing like that. They said it just took them out of procrastination, meaning they stopped making excuses of, oh, I'm gonna do it, but never doing it. They actually started doing it and say, man, I don't even know why I was waiting so long.
Right. Well, it's that later.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're like, I'm gonna do it later, and it's the last thing you end up doing, or you never do it. Because when's later? Honestly, even with that, when you say I'm gonna do it later, or you gotta decide a date and you gotta commit to that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, because later is later. That's
yeah,
that's tomorrow. You know what I mean? Is or later than that. But like whenever you decide, but you can always push it off till later, but get it done now because something will always come up. That's the one
yep.
thing. We always know whatever you expect that you had time for, there ain't that much time in the day. You're gonna run out
Mhm.
of it.
Yep.
Right.
So later might
Mhm.
not be later. You might not be here later. So do it now. Get the shit out the
Mhm.
way while you sit here
Yep.
being lazy because you want to do it
Mhm.
later.
Mhm.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Also laxative.
Yeah, I don't
Laxative
want that
also
either.
does LA.
Yes, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want one of them either. Shit.
Because I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Me
yeah, it's
too
a
as
great
well,
talk,
man.
good
Hey, I
conversation.
thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, hey,
I'm
man.
gonna go back in here to this restaurant
All
if they
right,
Getting
bro.
their
still.
plate back,
Hopefully somebody
getting
paid
their
my bill. They
dishes.
probably think I ran out on the bill and shit.
They like, just bring our dishes back.
Yeah, I'm taking the dish back in. I ain't trying to dirty up my truck and shit.
Well, we appreciate
Hey,
you,
well,
man.
listen.
We appreciate you
Yeah, we
hanging in there
appreciate
with us.
you. And
I mean,
I'm gonna tell everybody on live. I'm sorry, Ryan, to catch. I want to tell everybody on live how proud I am of my brother coming through everything that he has been through. You know what I mean? Thickness and all. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him having his own business. And as many times as people try to tell him, you
First of
know,
all,
what
no,
what
no,
not to
no,
do,
no,
what
no,
don't.
no, no. That's not you. That's my little brother. I don't know what you're talking about. It's my little brother.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you were both our little brothers,
I
honestly.
was
You know what
at
I mean?
one point or another. You know, and we'll
Yeah,
talk about those on the Fracker show. I'm sure
Yeah, that's
we'll
Frank's
talk
show
about
yeah,
my
coming
Busted Knuckles episode. Busted Knuckles.
out. Yeah, that's another day. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Anybody want to know what that's about? Y'all come on the Fracas show, and
I gotta
I'll
go to the
let you
Frank's show
tell it.
for
We
that.
have to tell that story. Why? Only when you're on there.
All right.
But y'all have a
Yeah.
blessed, wonderful day.
Thank
We
you.
Y'all
appreciate
too.
y'all for coming on to the Philly Talk. Once again, another great show,
Yeah.
great show. Another person from Philadelphia who's showing y'all, listen, if we're going to have more, we're going to find more. We're going to do the best we can to showcase all the wonderful people that's coming out of the city of
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Holla at me, y'all. Holla at me. They don't have to be. They don't have to be no
Follow the channel.
entertainer. Just tell. You'll come talk to me about the story. You know what I'm saying? You tell me. Let me know what's going on.
You know, go follow the channel at Like the Bug, follow Swooperman, follow the OG Network, and get involved. And we thank you. I thank you to my YouTube family. We growing large and in charge, and we doing a lot of big things. My brother Out the Pit, Queen Sackcloth, Man Do Magic 47, the Fat Tatular Show, Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare, A World Away from Here 95, Joyce Ort. It is so many of us in the YouTube family, man. And there's a lot of names that I don't even remember right now. It's hard to think of everybody. You know what I mean? But
No.
we want to just thank every single one of y'all. Everybody have a blessed, wonderful day. We out of here. Peace.
Watch that 30-second video.
I was just about to
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.